All right, so what's going on, guys? Today we got a AC tuck kit for the 8th and 9th gen Civic. Now this kit, it is designed to relocate your stock factory lines out to your passenger and out to your compressor and to your condenser. Okay, so we're going to cover some of the questions that you may have about the kit and a lot of the questions that I get on the daily basics. So we're going to go ahead and dive in. So this is our firewall billet piece. It's a big piece here, so you can see here. And then here is our compressor fitting, our AC pressure switch, and then that is our condenser fitting. Okay, so I will be showing you exactly where everything goes. And then here are our hoses. Just to cover something about the hoses, it is a big barrier hose. All our hoses are made here in the States, guys. So you can see here they're all stamped with made in the USA. So do be mindful that you are buying a kit that is been tested as well for 0 leaks. So buy with confidence. Don't think that you're going to be buying this and you're going to be having issues. So a lot of the issues do I ever have are with the installs, people rushing it and cutting the O-rings. So you can see here, all our fittings are O-rings. So if you don't have an O-ring there or you dropped it during the install, make sure you do not fully install because it's not going to seal. So I'm going to go outside and show you exactly what you need to do and walk you through the whole process of installing the AC tuck kit. One of the questions that I get is, what is the difference between shave and not shave engine bay? And that is something that I'm going to cover here in the video when doing the install. That way you can understand. You understand nowadays a lot of the guys are starting to shave their engine bay. And what that actually does, it cleans the engine bay and they sheet metal pretty much all the holes in the engine bay so they can look like nothing's there, but obviously they still have their components like AC, ABS, and all the rest of the stuff on the vehicle. So that is something that I'm going to cover. It is not too much of that changes, but I do want to make sure you understand the difference and how things are going to be routed. Okay, so we're going to go outside and start working on the car and show you what you're going to need to remove and what you're going to need to install the kit. So here we got my 8th gen Civic. So one of the things that you are going to have to be removing is going to be your fender, your headlight, your T-bar bracket, which I highly recommend it. It's not necessary, but things are just going to be so much easier to have that off. Obviously, your bumper, and one of the things I want to cover up front right now, and I'm gonna put some pictures there for you guys so you guys understand the difference between the shave and not shave. So the one that's not shave, your hose is gonna run this way and out to your compressor right there. The one with the shave, the hose is gonna run around this way, and we're gonna trim this here, and it's gonna fish right into your compressor. So the whole purpose of this, a lot of people are starting to shave these areas here, and they don't wanna be seeing the line there, or they cannot run the line there because they have blocked all that area. So it's becoming a very popular thing with the 8th gen Civic and the 9th gen, believe it or not. So that is the big difference between both of the kits. I will put some pictures for you guys can get a better idea of how it looks, but obviously we're gonna do the install with the shave kit because later down the road I don't know how exactly what I want to do with the car. I don't know if I want to shave all the holes and, you know, make it look like nothing's here like I do with my other cars. And so we're gonna go ahead and install the kit with the shave bay. Okay, so do keep that in mind. And the only thing that changes is the hose is just a lot more longer. So we're gonna go ahead and start removing our old AC lines, and the only thing you're gonna need from your old AC lines is gonna be your pressure switch fitting, and that is gonna be that one. So go ahead and remove it with your crescent wrench. Okay, so that is the only thing that we're gonna be needing from the old AC lines. So let's get to it. One thing I forgot to mention for you guys is make sure you get the system vacuum, and what I mean by that is to have the Freon actually remove from the system. And so when you do open the AC hose, it doesn't shoot all that Freon in your face. You don't want to breathe that. I'm not saying you can't do that, but I don't recommend it. So just be extremely careful if you are just going to swing it like that. So otherwise, we got our pressure switch. We're going to go ahead and already start unscrewing it. And again, this is the only thing that we're going to be needing from our old AC lines. So you can see here, That is it. So make sure you save this, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and start taking off our AC hose. We already got this one off, and then we're gonna be taking off this one right here. So that one's a 10, and that one's a 10 as well. So we're gonna work our way back, and then we're gonna have a 10 actually all the way back there, so you can see. So we're gonna go ahead and remove these, all of them, and show you how that looks. So I got the line out. So just be mindful, you are not gonna need the stock lines back out. So I ended up just cutting it here, and here's gonna be a 10mm nut. So do remove that. The next thing is gonna be, there is gonna be a, let me see if I can record with the light on. All right, so hopefully you guys can see here. I'm gonna try to slide the phone. Yep, so right there, you are gonna have to, there, appreciate it. They're gonna hate me on YouTube right now. All right, so you are gonna have to remove that stud, and that is also at 10mm. So we're not gonna need that stud. So just be mindful that we are not gonna need that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and remove that, and then we're gonna go ahead and put our billet piece there. So we'll go ahead and remove the stud. Like I said, it's a 10mm, so go ahead and remove it. This is a must, okay? So already got it out. We're gonna go ahead and put the billet piece and show you how that's. All right, here we go, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and put our billet piece in there. So one of the things I cannot stress this enough, be extremely careful when sliding the piece in. What I usually tell everybody is just to put a little bit of oil around the O-rings so it can slide down and you have no issues. So what I normally like to do is put this by hand, try to push it as far as I can, and then come with a 10mm impact and push it all the way down flush. So just be extremely careful when doing this, because messing up the O-rings will cause your leaks. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how that's gonna look. All right, guys, so it's the next day. I decided to leave it now that we have a little better of daylight. So the next thing that you're gonna have to do, and this is why you need to remove the fender, because this is exactly what we're gonna have to run our lines here. And what we're gonna have to do is, now this tool, you can buy it at Harbor Freight or Home Depot. Now the one from Home Depot, it is a lot better, but it's a little bit more pricey. Now this one is about 60 bucks. The one at Harbor Freight, if you just plan on using this one time, they're about 15, 20 bucks. So do be mindful with the one on Home Depot. It is a way better quality. Like, I've been using this for a long time, and the Harbor Freight, I have to keep buying them. So if this is something that you're gonna, you know, maybe use a couple times, maybe buy the cheaper one. But if you plan to keep this for a while and drill holes and whatnot, I highly recommend the one from Home Depot. So it's just a step drill bit. That one has a part number there if you guys want to see it. It is 2082 and number 5, and this has a number 9 on the end. So highly recommend to buy this one. So we're gonna go ahead and drill 2 holes here and about here, and then what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna cut this, okay, and then flatten this up. What that's actually gonna allow me to do is to run the lines this way further up than if I were just to hang them here, and that's gonna create a pinching point as well. You don't want to have a pinching point on your lines. Over time can leak, can cause a lot of stress on that. So we're gonna flatten this out with a hammer after and make sure the lines follow up. And the other thing is the lines don't have to hang as low and it could rub on the tire. So we want to put them high as possible, and then it's gonna route and it's gonna go out to the compressor and out to the condenser. All right, enough of me talking. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this going and show you guys how that looks after. So super simple, 2 holes. We're gonna cut this here and flatten it. Alrighty, guys, here we got, and you guys get the better idea how that's looking now. So very simple. We got both of the holes drilled out. We're gonna put the rubber grommets on it, and you can see here I hammered this out with my, I call it the big purse. So hit it with your big purse on that one. So wasn't too bad. Got it there. We're gonna go ahead and start running the lines and show you how that's gonna look after. But first, we're gonna go ahead and put the grommets. I will say you are gonna have to run the lines this way, and I'll explain to you here in a second exactly why you can't just run them that way. So one thing I did forget to mention, guys, make sure you drill these holes a lot bigger than your bed, so you can see here. So what I ended up doing, I just start rounding it up. You want to be able to have it, and the reason I say that, because now we're gonna go ahead and put a rubber grommets. Might have to trim them a little bit so you can see here. Okay, so, oh, there you go, my bad. You can see there, I might have to trim them there just a bit, but it's not a big deal. I'm gonna go ahead and put them on and show you how it looks. So I got a little bit ahead than more than I wanted to without recording. So quickly, let me show you. So you can see here, we have the lines fully routed underneath the headlight. Again, this is the kit with the shade bay option. So you can see here, you won't see any of the lines. If you get the one with the non-H shade bay, the line will run across here, okay? So do keep that in mind. I'm gonna go ahead and take off the the headlight, so you can see how it looks, how I route it, and the piece that I trimmed there as well. And one thing that I wanted to mention is you have to get this hose, run it that way, because you can't feed it this way because of the AC ports here, okay? So do keep that in mind. That is something that I was trying to show you guys in video, but I mean, it's super simple. And then one of the things I cannot stress this enough, don't lose the O-rings. So you can see here, every fitting is gonna have O-ring. Same thing here. So you can see I already put the compressor fitting there, and as well I put the one down here for the condenser. It is a very tight fitment, but we just got enough clearance there. So this hose is gonna come around, gonna come here, and this is where we're gonna put our pressure switch. Okay, so put one in and the other, and then we're gonna throw our OEM pressure switch back on the car, and the wire should just reach just enough from there. So go ahead and finish that up and show you how that's going to be looking, and I can start throwing the fenders back on, pretty much putting the car back to stock. So, and then that's where our AC lines are going to be charging. So do be mindful. What I ended up doing first, I actually ended up putting the big line first, and it was a lot easier to do that. I fed it that way, brought it around. I kind of test fitted the headlights, just want to see how everything was going to fit and wanted to play it out. Obviously I've done this before, but I was going to do this in video, but it's very difficult to record this myself, and I don't have anybody here holding the camera. So anyways, fed it this way. I'm gonna go ahead and take out the headlight and show you how that's going to look, and then went straight into that. Now this is why I mean to remove the radiator support up here up top, because you have room here to easily move this back and tighten that up. So it is a little bit tight, keep that in mind, but we're gonna go ahead and finish the rest of it up and tighten everything up, okay? And then I'm not gonna charge it here right now. I gotta take it to my buddy's shop. We're vacuum the system. This is something very important, okay? Make sure you get the system vacuum, okay? And what that's also gonna tell you, if you have any leaks, okay? Any of the leaks is gonna happen, it's gonna be happening from the O-rings. Usually either you drop the O-ring, you didn't notice, or you cut one of the O-rings during the install. So doing the vacuum, it pulls vacuum from the system and lets it know if there's going to be any leak, and then the system will be able to charge back up. So keep that in mind, it's very important. And the other question that I get is, what spec do I fill the Freon back on? Now you want to fill it up to the OEM spec, okay? Usually I've done this cars around 22 ounces. So every car is going to be a little different. If you have a new condenser or a new compressor, you are going to have to add a little bit of oil. It is not regular engine oil, okay? So do keep that in mind as well. It is specifically for the AC system. So I know there's a lot of people that don't know, are not aware how this stuff works. If you don't, I'll just let a professional do it. You can just put all the lines on and be like, hey, I got a new compressor, I got a new condenser, and I have never put any oil or anything on any of this stuff, and they're going to be able to know where to fill everything back up to the OEM specs, okay? So go ahead and put it, actually going to take the headlight off, show you how that looks, and I'm going to start putting the rest of the stuff back on so we can get this done for you guys, okay? So hopefully the video is very helpful, but one thing that you got to keep in mind is the non-shave, the line's going to run through here, okay? The shave gives you the option to run the line around and out to the compressor, just like that. So actually, let me show you. There you go. So you guys can get a better time. I don't have to take the headlight off. So I ran it underneath the bracket, out this way, out, and then there you go. I gotta put the grommet back in here. So that's kind of the only thing that I got left to do there. And then go ahead and put the the AC pressure switch, and we should be good. So here we go, guys. I went ahead and put the pressure switch on. So one thing I will highly recommend when putting the AC pressure switch, just double check your O-ring, make sure it's in a good condition. If it's not, I will highly recommend to switch it. So you can see here, it is just gonna thread on as it should. So, oh, there you go. You guys can watch a little bit better. And then obviously I'll tighten that up, and then bam. So that's how it's gonna go. We're gonna go ahead and throw the fender on, just button up any little thing that it needs to be. But man, now we got our AC out the way. We're gonna be able to do a little bit more stuff. We're gonna throw our motor mount back on here. Obviously you don't have to remove that, just upgrading to some hat sports. But go ahead and button everything up and show you how that's going to be looking. But I appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully this is very helpful. And again, I will clean all this wiring and stuff that the previous owner had here. But overall, I just want to show you guys how this is going to be looking and what to expect about the kit and the whole purpose of it. A lot of the guys that are using it now are the supercharger guys, because they have a lot of issues with the OEM hoses hitting the supercharger. So I would recommend to do the shade bay, so you're not going to have any of the stuff here. It's going to be completely out of the way. And you can see here, I did ended up trimming that a little bit, so in case the motor does move, we're not going to have, you know, any of that rattling. So there you go, guys. We're going to go ahead and put the fender on and show you how that's gonna look. So here's the last little look. I got the fender back on, and you can see here we do not see any of the AC lines, and that's exactly what we were going for. So if later on we want to go ahead and sheet metal all this area, we don't have to worry about the AC line being in the way, because the AC line is going to be here. So you can see if you were this way, they will never think you have AC on your car. So hopefully the video was helpful, and it's gonna make you make the decision a lot easier between which kit that you want. Like I said, it's not much of a difference, but if you're looking to shave the bay or not to have the line here in the engine bay, that is gonna be your choice there, now that you see it. So there you go, guys. Hopefully again the video's been helpful. Alrighty, you guys take care.